We can be extremely efficient and then still offer the same world-class talent that they would get at a big creative agency, just at a fraction of the price. We focus on the people. We eliminate everything that wastes time, money, and energy. I started my own firm, Blend. We're sort of a scalable option that is there when they need us and not when they don't.
What role does technology plays into your workflow?
You can scale taste or judgment unless you plan for it. So there has to be human touch points. I would go with people at X. We are not the expense, we are the value. Work with the seasoned pros, work with Gen X and reap the benefits.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. Welcome back to the Next Move with Venkat. I'm so glad you are tuning in today because we are going to pull back the curtain on how a modern creative production agency builds world-class content, stays lean, and delivers big impact. My guest today is Matt, founder and executive producer of Blend, a creative production company based in Los Angeles that partners with major brands, lean startups, and everything in between to produce content that actually moves people. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah, Matt, could you please take us back and start with where it is all started, about Blend and about yourself?
Yes. So I am Matt Bijarchi. I run Blend. We are blend.la. We are a creative production studio. And I guess I'll just tell my history briefly. I spent about 18 years at big holding company agencies, including Chiat Day, Young and Rubicam, the Creative Artists Agency, and a few others. And I was head of production and a producer earlier in my career. And I was focused on producing world-class work for brands. And about 12 years ago, I started my own firm, Blend, out here in Los Angeles, after having lived in New York and Chicago and San Francisco. And we deliver in a much more nimble and agile way, direct to brand. So we're a producer-led shop. So we focus on the deliverables, obviously, but we also do the creative. So we are project-based and we work direct to brand on a project basis, sometimes multiple times with brands, but we're sort of a scalable option that is there when they need us and not when they don't. So we can be extremely efficient and then still offer the same world-class talent that they would get at a big creative agency, just at a fraction of the price. So we're execution focused because the largest spend outside of media is on production. So we keep our eyes on the ball and we get the right creative teams and the right production and editorial teams for each project. We're not trying to retrofit who we have on staff to whatever client comes our way. We really are able to do bespoke teams for each opportunity. And that's been great. We've been lucky enough to work with some really big Fortune 50 brands. And as you had said, startups as well. We've done work with Samsung Global. We've done work with Midea America, quite a bit of work with them. Porsche Cars North America, Lowe's Home Improvement, and Dermalogica, just a host of large multinationals. We've also worked with funded startups and everyone in between, a lot of B2B brands you might not have heard of as well. And we're just really efficient and really lean and still able to apply the training that we got in traditional agencies to this sort of new model.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. So at what point did you realize the traditional agency was no longer optimal, and what did you want to do differently with Blend?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you'd asked me that question a year ago, I would have given you a different answer than today. I mean, 2025 October, just look at the news. UPP a few months ago laid off 7,000 people in one day. The Mill, which was a global VFX studio and animation studio, really the best of the best, shut down earlier this year. That's just two simple examples. We saw Publicis the other day say that they're not going to acquire Dentsu in the US. It's just a sea change in how things are done. I mean, look, I'm not here to lament holding company agencies. They still have their place. They do excellent work, especially big broadcast work. but there's a lack of efficiency and marketers are looking for different solutions. And small is the new big. You see it every day. There's a new shop that pops up. I think what is the opportunity for people like myself who Gen X, who are, I'm in my mid 50s. I have a lot of experience. What really I'm able to do is offer my clients solutions for their pain points with people who have experience that they crave, and doing it in a really agile way, spinning a team up, allowing them access to senior talent. We focus on the people and the parts of the process that deliver the most value, and we eliminate everything that wastes time, money, and energy. So, we're not billing for hours. We're not billing for headcount. We're billing for what the deliverables are and the process that took us there. So it's just an incredibly efficient and agile process with world-class talent that a lot of brands need. Not every brand can afford to come in and spend $500,000 on strategy and 3 months thinking up the best creative brief necessary for their project. Business moves a lot faster. Production is always on. There's tons of channels to fill, and you need different, nimble, agile teams in addition to the big AORs. So there's room for all of us.
Got it. So how did you set up your company so that it can grow and deliver consistently quality without becoming bloated or slow like the traditional agencies?
Well, as I talk about the advantages we have, I owe my training to the big holding company agencies, to traditional media. And, so the way it's through my network. I have a deep network of creative and production colleagues who have worked on the best and the biggest businesses in the world, who are all available for fractional or for freelance work. And so I tap into my network.
Got it. What are your main driving channels now?
So, everything's changing so quickly. I'm optimizing, I do a blog, I post on LinkedIn, I run Google Ads, but on all three of those things I just mentioned, I'm now optimizing them for answer engine optimization versus search engine optimization. So I want to be found on ChatGPT like everybody else, but also it's referral. Really, referral is the biggest way for me to get business, in addition to tailoring for inbound marketing for people who have an immediate need, who go online looking for production or agency partners. I've done well there, but just trying to hone my message on LinkedIn and on the blogs.
Got it. So with a creative production company, you're balancing multiple complex variables: talent, equipment, client expectations, timelines, technology, etc. So as Blend has grown,
the operational bottlenecks, and how do I address them? Well, I've been around for 12 years and we have evolved, but we have become much smaller. When first 6 years of our company, we had 15 people, 4,000 square feet of office space. And now it's me and 2 other people, and we work remotely. We have one office that we use when clients come into town for production meetings, but we're a lot leaner than we used to be because that's what the market demands. So it really, through our evolution or growth, we have niched down we're specifically suited for video and still content direct to brand that has creative development in it, but is not just for creative development. It's creative development for a campaign that needs to go to market. And it usually needs to go to market in relatively short order. Between 4 and 12 weeks usually is what we're working with. It's almost counterintuitive in that we have gotten smaller as we've grown, and more focused on what we do versus what other people do better. We don't do a live events. We have done them in the past. We don't do that. We do some strategy work, but usually our clients come to us knowing what their strategy is. If we're working with a startup, we sometimes will help them with that. But really just ruthlessly focused on creative and production for a campaign that needs to go to market.
Got it. So you mentioned you're only working with 2 people, one you and the other person. So I think in the pre-chat you mentioned you've been working mostly with the freelancers, right? So how do you manage your freelance talent network and ensure the consistent quality with the projects?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I work with a lot of the same people. So they're freelancers, but they're kind of permalance. And then I bring in people as needed. And it's about having a tight brief. It's really about making sure we have a tight brief, and then also making sure that because we're working direct to brand, that means we're working with their in-house agencies, and we have to work with people who respect that. Right. So we're not looking to win awards and award shows. We want our work to be as creative as possible. But when you're at an agency, you're always looking to win awards in addition to servicing your clients. We're producing for the brand first and the creative second. So we care deeply about how creative our work is, but we care more about how well we listen and how well we work directly with those in-house agencies because their needs are different. They're the brand owners, the brand stewards, and they have different challenges internally than we know. We're never going to know their brands as well as they do. And we have to be respectful and collaborate with them really well. And when we do that, earn their trust, show that we listen well, collaborate well, then magic can happen. You can start really working well together and raising the bar once there's trust. But it is different when you go direct to client. It's not the same as being an agency of record.
Completely makes sense. Yep. Sorry. What role does technology plays into your workflow, whether it is the project management or the delivery or the collaboration?
Yeah. So, okay. Project management, delivery, and collaboration. So let's start with project management. So technology plays a fairly big role. We use Asana for project management. We also use Google Docs, or we use Slack. We, depending on the client, whatever interface they use, we try to get up to speed on because so much work happens asynchronously. So for project management, there's I would say Slack, Asana, and Google Drive are the biggest tools we use for project management. For collaboration, God, it changes all the time. I mean, we use ChatGPT Pro to pressure test our scripts. We don't have real writers because it takes real writers to do good work that's on brand. But that doesn't mean we don't turn to the pro versions of the AI software to get pressure testing done, to get criticism done, to get feedback, and to get versioning to make sure we're leaving no stone unturned. And I think our clients are doing that as well, right? Like, you're only as good as your prompt when it comes to the AI engines. And so if you're just asking for ideas, you're going to get really bad stuff. But if you're feeding it what you have and asking for detailed and tailored feedback, then you get some good stuff. On collaboration, I would say also collaboration and delivery kind of merge together for us. There's an entire host of editorial AI that we use. There are softwares that help with eye contact. Like if you're filming someone like a non-actor, for example, who had difficulty maintaining eye contact with the camera, you can fix that in post. There's all kinds of wonderful audio software that takes out background noise, that fixes natural light. I mean, we had a shoot last month at one of our clients' offices. It was just testimonial footage, but there was a power outage in the whole block that our client's office was on in Culver City. And as a result, we couldn't use our lights or plug anything that required electricity. We had a backup solution and we made it look as good as it could with our mini generator. And then we had post options that allowed us to enhance the light, the natural light that we had. What else? There's another project we're working on now for a major retailer where they asked us to take still imagery and turn it into motion. So a still image into about 3 seconds of motion. And there's wonderful programs that allow you to do that. Again, it takes a professional editor prompting intelligently into that software for you to get out quality result that doesn't look like a hokey AI motion. Specifically, we used, Weavy. Weavy. It's a professional grade node-based editing program that really is better than Google VO, Sora, or Kling. It allows an editor who knows how to prompt well to access all of the different editorial tools under one umbrella. And that worked really well. But, things are changing all the time. I feel like for AI programs, I learn a lot from the VFX artists and the editorial creative people because they've always been first in line for technology. and they're still first in line for the quality AI programs that they use that come
Sounds
out, because it's changing all the time. And it's one thing for me or my client to try and go on Sora or on, Kling and create motion imagery that a brand would want to put in one of their campaigns. I mean, unless they're doing a full AI campaign, the work has to look real. And to do that, you need professionals who know what they're doing.
Sounds really interesting. And yeah, since we are discussing about AI and the automation, so I saw one of your recent posts. So it is about everyone is racing to automate the creativity. So would you please elaborate a little bit about
Thank
what
you
is
for
your
asking
really
that.
thought?
Yeah, because it's just like, it takes the creative person, whether it's a producer, a creative director, a writer, an editor, working with a specific piece of software that's for them. And, you need both. You can scale taste or judgment unless you plan for it. So there has to be human touch points when you're scaling content at a brand. You have to know at what point in the journey do you need human involvement and decision making, and at what point do you not? And I think folks that are just like, oh, you just use AI or whatever, you're going to get crap out. Discernment, judgment, and taste are still human attributes, right? So I think everyone's racing to scale creativity, but you can scale production, but you need the human element at the right points, right? And that's like I was saying earlier about our creative editor working with Weavy. None of us on the team or anyone at my client would have been able to get the same results for the edit that our editor was able to get, because he's an editor who is prompting editorial AI software to get out optimal results. So, yeah, it's really for the creators using AI as part of their workflow, and not just turning to AI for the whole thing.
Yeah, Matt. So looking ahead, so what are your future goals and where do you want to see Blend in the next 12 months?
Oh, I love that question. Helping brands develop content systems that honor the brand promise. And that's like just what we were discussing earlier. It's, having the right creative people working with their in-house teams to create a creative system and a production system that honors creativity and the brand ethos simultaneously. And that's, like I was saying, it's humans plus AI, and it's all about the quality of the prompt. Whether you're a writer or you're an editor or you're a producer, it's about the way those professional subject matter experts are working directly with the right AI software. And it's about having the human judgment and decision making in the creative and production systems at the right points to allow you to scale with quality and efficiency that honors the brand. So more and more brands are turning to internal resources. And as they do that, as their internal agencies, video is, they do everything. They're doing a lot of really good work internally, more and more every year. But when it comes to world-class film or video content, they still have to access outside partners. I'm really excited about helping them create systems that allow them to do world-class film and video in-house without relying solely on external partners.
Sounds really interesting. Yeah. So before we wrap up the episode, so what advice would you give to the content leaders or marketers today who want to build a production capable in-house team versus outsourcing?
Yeah, I would go with people, seasoned creative professionals, seasoned producers, Gen X. We are not the expense, we are the value. Go with people who've been around, who know what they're doing, who are pressure tested, and who are working in a modern way. They're working fractionally, they're working project based, and they're working with AI in an intelligent way. They're mature enough to produce for the brand first and the creative second, because these brands are spending good sized amounts of money on their creative assets, right? And gone are the days where you do one campaign a quarter. They're doing stuff all the time, and they need to be doing it They need to be working with seasoned professionals to work quickly, to work nimbly, but also to deliver to the brand promise with the best creative work possible. And that's why I'm really, that's my advice, is that work with the seasoned pros, work with Gen X, and reap the benefits.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. So if anyone wants to find you out, where they can check out for you?
Matt Bijarchi, Bijarchi on LinkedIn. I have 8,000 followers. I'd love another 8,000. And then weareblend.la, weareblend.la online.
That's wonderful, Matt. So we have really got so many insights from you, especially from your experience and blending the latest technologies into your workflow and all. It is really amazing talking with you, and I hope our audience will also get so much of information from this episode. We are really looking forward.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for including me.
Thank you very much, Matt.